Oh, it's junior high.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll move into the consensus agenda.
So I move we approve the vouchers in the sum of $521,580.93. There were 2 payrolls, which total $593,335.18, for grand total expenditures of $1,114,916.11. Along with that, I move we approve the minutes from our last meeting.
Second.
Moved by Steve, seconded by Wes. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. On to personnel. Oh, patrons' comments. We're seeing no one's present. We'll move on to personnel.
I'd like to recommend the approval of Heather Sell as a special needs bus driver as communicated. There's been several things that just led us to feeling like this was probably the best move and making sure that we had an extra set of eyes, especially with a couple of our wheelchair students, just the getting them on, getting them off while other students are still on the bus. So I'd recommend Heather Sell as that special needs bus aide, sorry, not driver.
We approve Heather as
Moved by Ken, seconded by Steve. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
Recommend the next 3 items for approval. Matt Arvison as junior high wrestling head coach, Malachi Green as junior high wrestling assistant coach, and Jason Thompson as junior high wrestling supervisor.
Second.
Moved by Kevin, seconded by Ken. Any discussion?
What does the wrestling supervisor do?
So that was in our latest collective bargaining agreement. Those individuals that will go to those matches just to maintain order, help report out on wins, and/or connect with Rodney if there's any concerns.
All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
And last but not least, in personnel, I'd like to recommend substitute pay for current certified staff covering during their prep. We've had some incidences where we didn't have coverage, substitute shortages, that type of thing. Honestly, we've added some substitutes, and it's been a really good thing, but there has been times where we simply needed a couple periods covered throughout the day, and so we asked individuals who had a prep during that time to cover, and we just wanted to make sure that didn't go uncompensated. So we're going to start with the $20 for that 45-minute period of time, which is approximately all equals out with sub pay if they were to stay the whole day. So we will probably go back into negotiations next year with that. We just didn't want that to go too long without compensation.
I move we approve that. Second.
It's been moved by Steve, seconded by Kevin. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Moving on to business.
All right, I recommend the approval of the purchase of a 66-passenger Thomas C2 school bus, and on the same, same topic, the purchase of a 15-passenger activity bus.
I move we approve those purchases.
Do we know, Tom, when we're going to receive these buses?
Have we received that?
Yeah,
haven't
we
received
received
last
last
year's
buses.
We haven't received 2022 buses yet. The last word that we received was December, which now we're
Moving on to
halfway
January.
through December, and I don't think we've got an update yet. But if we ordered these now, they said we should have them next fall. We did put a letter of intent already in for the activity bus, so this is really the main one. There is the 66-passenger.
Second.
Moved by Steve, seconded by Ken. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
I'd like to recommend the approval of the tag distribution for teachers and administration. If you are aware that once we get that distribution, we have to disperse that to staff within 20 days, but we did want to make sure that it was approved by the board, just to make sure that we are aware of it and that was approved.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Kevin, seconded by Wes. Any other discussion? All in favor?
I have to recuse
Oh,
myself
yes.
on that.
I want to make note of the next item, the dissolution of Jesse. We took that to vote just a little over a week ago. And because that has to be a unanimous decision, that did not pass. So I am retracting that off of tonight's agenda. We are not going to vote on that because that did not pass the TSC Board, which are the 9 local superintendents. But I will tell you that today, actually, during our board meeting, we actually pushed back the deadline to either dissolve or withdraw from Jesse to, I believe they ended with May 1st. So there will definitely be more information coming your way as to maybe the direction of what Jesse looks like, when that may be done with, what partnerships may look like moving forward, and so on. So it's been a convoluted mess for the last couple of weeks. My heart goes out to the Jesse employees, but right now their employment is secure, and we're kind of getting back to trying to organize that a little bit more. So I am going to pull that off, so there's no action needed. The next piece, I would recommend the approval of the annual copier purchase and maintenance agreement from Adams Remco.
I move we approve that.
Second.
Been moved by Steve, seconded by Ken. Any discussion?
Tom, is that a 1-year contract?
It's, the equipment is a purchase, it's a lease, 5-year lease. We bid it out 5 years ago, opened it up. We had different leases coming due at different times when we did it. In the bid, we put buy out the last 2 years of this lease versus that. But this time around, they're all due. Our lease is up, I think, in May. So what's going to happen here is we're going to renew it with Adams Remco. 5 of our machines are actually in decent shape. Their useful life is left, so we're not replacing those. They do have a little higher maintenance agreement cost, just because they will require a little bit more maintenance, and then replace the other 4 machines.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. On to superintendent's report.
All right, it's kind of been a crazy day, so we'll talk a little bit about that in my report. Some of the things I didn't even have in there because it's transpired towards the end of the day. But we'll start with continuous improvement. I did send the board the updates to some of the signage in our weight room, cafeteria. I didn't send the cafeteria ones, but there were some different colors going on there, so we just made that a little bit more consistent. So weight room, cafeteria, library, admin building, which is our new core value sign, based on our last strategic planning session that we went through, just to continually remind us of our purpose and what we're trying to accomplish. So an example there, Descon did a great job, and I appreciate Michael Young and his willingness to kind of help things be consistent. This has been a long time coming, and again, I'm thankful for Descon for their willingness to try to bring consistency to design, color, and the spirit to our campus. Shared leadership, just once again, when we're thinking about our strategic plan, encourage student academic success, foster social and emotional growth, invest in teacher and staff success. So that's kind of our focus there. And the strategic plan, we'll talk about a couple of those things that are being accomplished with our upcoming January 3rd professional development. But before that, this morning, I do want to just kind of give a synopsis of talking about shared leadership. This morning was a prime example of that, when at about 7:25 I received a phone call from the elementary office about the power going out. We were alerted that the power went out at the elementary transportation department, was well into their morning routes. So students were, we just told the buses to go ahead and bring the students, make sure they would get to the school safely, and then we would kind of see how things progressed throughout the morning. The students were held on the buses for approximately 5 minutes longer than they normally are. Shortly after all the buses were done unloading, the power came on at 8:05. and allowed our students and staff to stay in the building and resume their day. Bus drivers were prepared to come back for an early dismissal if necessary. The high school was also prepared to house over 500 students if needed, and the staff was quick to help out in any way that they needed to. So it was a stressful few minutes. We weren't sure. In fact, early reports were this is the main breaker. We don't know that that's going to come on anytime soon. It really ended up tracking back to the cafeteria washing machine, and a module that continued to, set off the breaker. I did just post probably half hour ago, just making our community aware of an incident that took place at 3:10. So dismissal and arrival were pretty crazy this morning. But in the end, we're happy to say that everyone is safe. We got a report of some incidents happening in the woods just east of campus. So law enforcement was on site. Unfortunately for the individuals that were having an airsoft fight, I guess, they were seen by parents. That's not something you want to do close to the school right before dismissal. And so they were taken care of. They were spoken to. Nothing was being done that was illegal. Just the timing was horrible. That went off without incident, and I will tell you, we had several law enforcement on site immediately, making sure that our kids were safe. So once again, our high school students, we did pause dismissal just to make sure the scene was secure before we sent them out to the buses, and everything was okay without incident, but nonetheless a little tense for a moment. So. That, I don't know if that's been decided. I have a feeling if they were in Lemler's Woods, yes, but I'm not exactly sure how that was handled and or who it was or if they had permission. So we haven't got that far. Marshall County, my understanding, was the one who interfaced with those individuals. So. Social responsibility this month, we've worked closely with our town government to discuss Highway 30 with county personnel, the potential of future housing in Etna Green and Bourbon, economic development opportunities, and how to continue to look for ways to make our town and school system a place where people want to be. Accountability this month, there have been a lot of discussions within our current special education cooperative, ongoing discussions to continue to how best move forward to ensure that we are providing the best service for our students while being fiscally responsible and creating high-quality programming. There will be more to come on this topic, but I appreciate your patience as we continue to work through what is best for our students, as I just mentioned with Jesse, and just of how best we're going to move forward. High expectations, I do want to recognize the Triton Trojan Sports Network. They will be recognized for their ongoing and incredible support of all things Triton. For example, tonight they're recording this board meeting. They will be at the 5th and 6th grade elementary basketball game. In Plymouth, they were at 7th grade game. They're recording our 8th grade basketball in the TAC. My understanding is they were trying to record the music program, and there was a snafu there, so I apologize for that. But this could not be done without the extreme dedication of those individuals. The Triton Athletic Department will be recognizing the TTSN team on Tuesday night at halftime of the varsity basketball game against Bethany Christian. Please consider going to www.tritontrojans.org/donate to donate to the cause. And I have made a post on that as well that you can simply click on that button and it takes you straight to the donate tab. But we have 4 or 5 volunteers. Sorry, that's Friday's game. I apologize. Yeah, I apologize. Winnemac, Friday's game. Sorry about that. That being said, please don't take this incredible service for granted. I think we just had a conversation right before our board meeting. I know, just speaking for personal, my father-in-law loves when he goes to Florida to be able to tune in and keep watch on all things Triton. So for our snowbirds, what a great opportunity to watch their grandkids. So please, if you have enjoyed that and or you get something out of that, I ask that you please consider a donation there. For alignment, January 3rd, professional development. We've talked a lot once again in our strategic plan about two things: vertical articulation, so vertical teachers in different grade levels speaking to one another, talking about the continuation of curriculum, and then also crisis prevention intervention, and we're going to be doing both of those things at the January 3rd professional development. So the focus is vertical articulation and crisis intervention. And I believe that's all I have for my report. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Looks like Mr. McCann is the really reports this evening, unless
Christine is at the game, and I have her report. So go ahead, and I'll get organized here.
All right, a few things here for the junior, senior high school. Since our last board meeting, we've had an opportunity to meet with our math department, our language arts department, to just review some data and how can that impact decisions made in the classroom, as well as just mapping some of our curriculum. Again, just what we're teaching, how we're teaching it, and when we're teaching it. We also received new standards for our science department, so we've started just sifting through all those new science standards, and again, just deciding what those, if a standard is high priority or a low priority, and how much time and energy we want to devote to those standards within the classroom. We are about to wrap up our observations for first semester. So actually all observations are finished. We have a few more teachers to meet with, but I'm just really happy with the way things are going in the classroom. And I think our teachers are doing a great job. Let's see, almost done with the first semester, which is kind of crazy to think about that. So we are preparing for final exams. So this Friday we have our first final exam, first hour. And then on Monday we have exams for second, fourth, and sixth. And then on Tuesday we have exams for third, fifth, and seventh hour. So we are getting ready for final exams. We are going to have a PEP session this Wednesday, just to kind of have a little bit of fun and kind of celebrate the end of the semester, but then getting serious about exams. So that's going to take place Wednesday afternoon. I would like to just recognize Mr. Young and his family. They did a great job this last weekend hosting or putting on the Winter Wonderland talent show, and that they're looking for ways to raise money for their DC trips, and I think they raised over $800 by putting this on, which is great. And I think students were able to step out of their maybe comfort zones and get on stage. It's something that I would never do as a kid. So kudos to everyone that had the guts to get up there and do that. So, but really fun night. Tonight we have a choir concert. Let's see here. This Thursday we have a band concert, so hopefully we have a good turnout for that. And then Mr. Riff will discuss just our plans for January 3rd. One thing I'm really looking forward to is giving the opportunity for especially our junior high students, or junior high teachers, to start working with some of our elementary teachers. I think that's something they're craving, and to be able to give them that opportunity, I think, is really important. So that's my report, unless you guys have anything, questions for me. Thank you.
Good evening. What'd you say? Deep breath. So obviously we're wrapping up our 5th and 6th grade boys basketball games. We had our last one tonight, at least home game. I think that's it. I think this wraps up the season. So that's been a good one. They were both victorious tonight, by the way, over Oregon Davis. In the coming days, we're trying to be festive with dress-up days all this week, while also trying to retain the excitement so that learning can take place. This morning's power outage did not help, but fortunately it was short-lived and everyone was safe, and that's the main thing. Families are being blessed this time of year in many ways. We're very fortunate to have a caring community. Stacy Sheets, our counselor, has done a great job in seeking out families and making sure that they get, that everybody is taken care of over the holidays. We had many who applied for Shop with a Cop. We have the Neighborhood Center. Blessings in a Backpack is doing their toy drive. And we have individuals who are adopting families. And so I feel like if people need help, it's out there, and we're making sure that that happens. And so that's much appreciated. We are having data analysis with teachers this Wednesday and Thursday. I want to thank the school board, the corporation, and so forth, just for supporting this process over the years. Because first of all, you support it with your dollars and cents. We need our substitutes to come in 3 times a year. It really helps so that teachers really have time to collect good data individually from students so that we can see the progress that they're making and the gaps that are there. And then being able to support it with our resources, again, of time and money, and getting people to come in so that teachers can really have some quality time to look at the data and meet during the school day is really important. So you've been supporting that process for a long time, but I just want to say that we do. Sometimes we take it for granted, but not all schools have that, and I appreciate that. We are planning a RIF distribution on Monday. That's a book distribution for free books. Our PTO is helping with that. And they have committed to using the profits that they get every year, which is not nothing, but we don't really do anything, through Amazon Smile and the Spiritware store. And so we actually get some funds each year, and they decided last year to donate those each year to RIF, whatever the proceeds are, so we can buy books for our kids. So that's going to be on Monday. And then we'll have a good time on Tuesday, finishing up with our all school Christmas sing at the end of the day. January 3rd, sounds like you've already talked about those plans a couple times, so I won't add to that, but I think you've already heard that. So we're also at the elementary working on tweaking a new discipline referral process between the classroom and the office, and then back to the classroom, so that we have better communication and hopefully can meet those individual needs in a more granular way and more efficiently as well. So I think that's all for now.
Thank you.
Who wants it?
I'll just go ahead and just reiterate. Friday night against Winnemac, as mentioned, TTSN will be recognized. So that, just confirming that is the case, and I apologize for giving the incorrect information there. So the varsity game starts at 7:30-ish, and that recognition will take place at halftime. So.
All right. I skipped over the patrons' comments prior to the right after the superintendent reports. Any more patrons' comments? If not, we will move to adjourn at 7:23.